What's up, PUBG esports fans? Welcome back to the queue. Today we're going to be discussing Esports World Cup and Nations Cup. I'm joined by Shrimsy, Kick, and Machine Gunner. We're going to give you the scoop on the inside of PUBG.
That was good. First take, too. You're nuts, bro.
I'm that fucking guy.
The inside. I'll show you the inside.
We'll start off with a super fast PGS recap, as we've just gotten back from PGS3 and 4. We came 2nd and 19th, respectively, in each tournament. I'm sure you guys remember the results. They weren't our finest games. Shrimsy, do you have any thoughts on the format of PGS3 and PGS4?
I think it's really good for viewers. I think it kind of sucks as competitors to not have the winners-losers bracket. There's been a few times that top teams in previous tournaments would have not qualified for winners, and then they would have been eliminated from the tournament. This is actually the first event that we've had since last year, I think, or like 2022. That
PGS1.
PGS1, we made winners. Like before the whole PGS system, we've qualified for winners, and this is the first tournament that we PGS4 is the first tournament that we would not have. We immediately got eliminated, so it sucks. But it is the format. I'm not gonna complain. We just played bad. I think it's very exciting for viewers, though. I think it's probably really cool to watch. There's a lot more on the line for just 12 games, so I really, I kind of like it, honestly. It sucks for us, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks to be eliminated. I'm sure Kickstart shares the same sentiment. Look at this guy in his chair. He's having flashbacks right now.
19th.
19th, yeah. I mean,
19th.
It was our worst international performance in a hot minute. But honestly, I think that sometimes you need to get knocked down to pick it back up again. I think the fatigue, there's a lot to be said for the fatigue, it being in China for so long. Like, it was out of our comfort zone in terms of cuisine and other factors. And there's just a lot of PUBG to play, back-to-back events, PGS3, PGS4. So it felt like, we definitely weren't in our prime form going into PGS4. But, I mean, I don't think you guys came here to hear us ramble about PGS3 and 4. Let's talk about Esports World Cup, the qualifications, how they went, how do we feel about the top 8 Twire rule, and TSM missing out by a couple points on the Twire ranking, happily qualifying. Let me actually ask Gunner first. Hold up.
Yeah.
How does it feel to return to Saudi Arabia?
Well, I really enjoyed it last time. I think it was like the one event where everything was perfect. Like, obviously, we did win Gamers 8 in Saudi, so that, I guess, could add to me thinking that it was all perfect. But, I mean, it was like 3 free buffet meals a day. It was a good gym. It was a nice pool. I liked playing earlier. This was the first event that it wasn't just at like 6 or 7 p.m. So the schedule was different. I think, what did we play, like 3 or 4 or something like that?
3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty neat. It was good waking up. Everybody would wake up. We'd hit breakfast. We'd hit the gym. Like, I feel like everyone was on a really good schedule. Everyone was on time. Like, I mean, just in general in life, a lot of times when you wake up early, you kind of just feel like you've had a more productive day, just because like you're doing things when the sun's out and stuff. So I kind of like that schedule, and I don't like starting games when it's like dark out. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Saudi. I'm looking forward to going back. Obviously, this is the Esports World Cup this time, so yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a shared sentiment for all of us. We're solar-powered human beings, and the sun in Saudi is pretty strong. It's a little bit of the same. Armor, yeah. Shout out Armor, the GOAT. He came into my chat the other day. He said that we would be eating some more camel steaks.
Let's go. So good.
Look,
I'll be honest.
Delicious.
Look, I'm sorry if you're vegan, vegetarian. I got respect for you. Shout out to all those people. But if you haven't tried camel, you gotta try one. Oh my
I never
gosh.
tried camel.
Kick,
you
you're about
gotta
to
try
get
it this
It's
time.
Heck.
so good, actually. No doubt.
Insane. I actually think it's the best piece of meat I've ever tried.
It was.
Yeah, it tastes
100%.
Literally. Huh?
It was.
Huh?
What'd you say?
Okay. I was talking about some cheeseburgers.
Well, it was.
Camo
All right,
burgers.
look, I mean, obviously you haven't tasted Kick's meat, but so you can't
What?
really compare. But that's what he said.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you put a piece of camel in your mouth, it just melts. You know what I'm saying? It was like butter. Imagine putting a slab of butter in your mouth and having it just melt. That's
Yeah,
what
insane.
camel is like.
Sounds kind of gross.
Yeah. So Shrimsy, do you want to talk about our Esports World Cup qualifier win with Kick? It's our first W with Kick.
Yeah, so we've been pretty iffy when it comes to regionals for the past year and a half, 2 years ish. It feels like we finally got some really good structure on the team. We changed up a few things with me and Matt always being on the front, Tig anchoring, and Ancient kind of being a little flex, doing whatever we need to have done. So with the structure being on the team, it kind of worked out really well. This was our first time trying it, and we kind of just dominated, honestly. Obviously, we got very good zones, but we were playing extremely well on top of that. It kind of felt like even whenever we were doing well before, we were making very, very small mistakes because our synergy wasn't great. But it did not feel like that this tournament at all. It felt kind of opposite. We were doing really well, and our synergy was very good. So it seems like with this structure that we kind of have it figured out a little bit. Obviously, international will be a lot harder, but I think our consistency will be getting a lot better.
How do you feel, Matt, now taking more of a frontal position on the team?
I'm chilling, bro. Just hanging out, pushing it down in the front like I'm used to. It feels weird to even say that I've been here for a year, and especially like that was our first win.
Yeah, that kind of shook me up. Shrimsy said a year and a half we've been playing bad regionally, and I was like, it's been a lot longer than that. Hold up. Like Matt joined a while ago. We haven't had that many regionals with him, but we haven't won a regional event in like...
That was like my third
PCS7.
tournament with you guys.
Yeah.
PCS
It's been a year.
That was the last. Wait, really? Oh, God.
I think it's been like 3 years. No?
Well, we've done
2 years.
three.
2
Well,
years.
we've done now 4 regionals with me on the team, I think. So, because I did 1 with Mime and then 3 with Kick.
We
now?
Yeah, I've only done 3
Yeah,
with you guys.
so-
we won PCS7 before Dubai. That was our last regional before this
Oh
one.
shit! I didn't even know.
Yeah, that was
Well,
a
I
hot
guess
minute ago.
I guess I wasn't the regional problem. guys
You were. You
suck.
joined the team and we lost immediately.
We
you
did
guys were
say-
losing though.
We did say that when Gunna
we
joined the
won
team...
before you joined. We won a regional before you joined.
That is cap.
It's knockout.
It was said when Gunna joined the team, we would be better at internationals and worse at regionals. And we played well at PGS1, PGS2, and didn't win the regionals. So I guess, it was known.
All right, we
but that's
back
okay.
now though. All right, we got second at another international.
We
We
back.
won the regional. So now we kind of found that secret sauce formula. Like, I mean, we might just never lose
19th.
another event again. Well, that one doesn't really count.
No, I'm not going to lie. I
was a
like
fake
our
tournament.
structure at the moment. Since we made this change, the way that we've been playing recently, I actually think we're like probably going into the strongest form of Soniqs that we've seen in a long, long time. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Esports World Cup, as I'm sure the rest of the team is, because it's just been like gelling super well. And obviously there's still really small mistakes, but like on the most part, like I'm just super happy to like practice every day. It's a very happy environment, and we're starting to frag. It's good fun.
We got the best environment out of any team. I fucking guarantee you that.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think the big thing is, for me at least, it's been really fun. Like, usually whenever we're scrimming and stuff, it feels a lot like work, and you're kind of just ironing out the details. But recently, it's been like really, really fun to play, and like it's been exciting. Every day you go in, it doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like I'm gonna hang out with the boys. So that's been really cool.
That's either a terrible sign or an amazing sign.
I mean, we've been doing well. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very fun.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's
It only becomes a problem when it becomes a problem, and then you go back
Yeah.
and fix it.
Yeah. So, Gunnar, how do you feel about the Smash Roll format going into Esports World Cup?
I was just on an interview and podcast yesterday about this, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I think 100 points, like they did in EU, is better than the 70 points, which has been played in APAC. I think 100 points and then a win is more, or gives results more along the lines of Super. So I do kind of like that better. I mean, if the viewers like it, then I think it's like, something obviously to take a look at continuing to do. But I mean, overall, obviously, I'm still more of a fan of Super. I think teams, at least watching the EU games and APAC, teams really switch up like how they're playing when they get close to the point threshold or when they hit that point threshold. So I mean, and I don't really want us to have to do that. Like, it just kind of brings back like bad memories of like MC format or winner winner chicken dinner, where it's just like, like don't shoot that team. It's just like it's so like it's just not authentic, So it's like if we hit that point threshold, like, and like we're gonna have to have a comm where it's like just don't knock that guy because then we're giving the whole server information on where we are. Like it doesn't feel like an authentic PUBG experience. So hopefully, we play this tournament and, I mean, obviously do well, but we learn and then PUBG learns and they just, if they intend on keeping it, then hopefully they make it better somehow to where it still feels like authentic and viewers can still enjoy it, but players could also still enjoy it, like whether that has to do with removing kill feed or changing the kill feed or just changing anything. Hopefully this is just either a test run or a one-time thing, and we'll just see how it really goes from here. But
PGC
I'm
is
still
already
excited.
confirmed to be Smash.
Yeah, so PGC is confirmed to be Smash, so obviously teams are going to have to make adjustments and learn the format a little better. It's going to be a tough adjustment for teams, but it's a learning curve. I'm always excited, especially with this group of guys to start like even like when we get a new map, we go into the map, we do a lot of studying. Like same thing is going to be for the format. We're just going to have to learn and adapt.
The thing for me about it is it sucks that like we can't practice it. Like I know Asia and APAC have had definitely like at least 3 tournaments, probably more than that. I'm sure Asia's been playing it for like I think years. Like I feel like they've had like the Smash Cup every now and then for like once
Smash
or
Cup
twice a
every year.
Yeah, like they've played it for a long time, and like I know it's just a format change, but it does like change how you play, and it's just like an experience thing, and we just haven't been able to play it at all, so it sucks a lot. I don't know if this is the first tournament EU's ever done, but even just being able to play one tournament is like good for the experience of it. It's like completely different than our normal formats.
There's 2 things that I wish they would change, and obviously one is the point threshold. I think that they should go up for sure to 100. I think that was really good from EU to do that. And then the second thing is Apex doesn't have kill feed on, but I think you could have kill feed on for the first until people hit the point threshold. And then I think the name should be randomized and it should just go to team 1, team 2, team 3, but it just should change every game so that it's not like team 1 is Twisted, team 2 is Soniqs, blah, blah, blah. And then, you don't have people inting 24/7. It looks like a real authentic game of PUBG instead of people just like constantly inting the winners. But I guess that might be something that PUBG wants as well, so who knows? That would just be good for the players, I guess.
Is that a thing? I think Apex has kill feed.
No, they
Apex
don't.
doesn't have
Apex
kill feed.
doesn't.
No.
Maybe
It's
I
interesting.
Scrims.
Yeah, in scrims they have kill feed and the spectators have kill feed, but the actual players in game it'll just say like the agent.
The player they play, yeah. How do they even keep track of like what team they're fighting then?
I don't know. I think it says team number. I think it says like team 3 Loba or something like team 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the same way we would do live scrims, I guess, with a number if people are using weird names.
I would like that as well. I feel like, if you hit the points threshold, pretend you're 17 gaming, you hit the points threshold, and Cerberus is like, well, actually, we want to loot Picardo. We're not playing well out of this spot. We're going to take Picardo from you because you need to win the game to win the tournament. So 17 has all this like external pressure on them, and they're like, holy crap, like we need to win the game. They're not going to be committing to a hot drop the same way that like Cerberus would. So I think that come points threshold, any teams that are hot dropping each other, like, or any teams that had a contested loot point could just hot drop each other. Like, I think it might become a bit of a messy fiesta at the end, potentially. Obviously, people still want to play for points, but.
And even if you're not contesting for a spot, that's interesting. I never really thought about that. Like, if you're like a team that's in fucking 11th or something, and you just wanted a better loot spot, and the team was about to win, they don't really want to throw their tournament. You could just be like, hey, we're going to hot drop you, or you could just have our other loot spot. Like, do you want to win this tournament, or like, do you just want to go loot another spot? Or like, do you want to hot drop us? Sorry. Yeah. So like, I've never really thought about that, but teams could probably just take a good spot away from a team that has a chance to win.
Exactly. And I think the only team that's kind of proof of that would be Twisted Minds, just because they're so good at hot dropping Power Grid, and There are other spots. They have a lot of experience. I think Twisted Minds would have like an 80% power and hard drop win rate on any pro team.
Yeah, but it's not even really that. It's teams would come to third party if they're going to win the game. Like if they're going to win the tournament, then third parties would come.
Yeah, I agree. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I hope that we can avoid that kind of stuff and that we have like a fair win situation.
There's going to be no avoiding it. It's going to be a clown fiesta.
Yeah.
It actually, because playing for this much money and with the prize pool breakdown, like if so many teams are if teams are just close in points and other teams just like aren't, they're not going to want those teams to just like end it on whatever game. I don't freaking know, 12, 13, 14. Like, they're going to want more points because once the team wins, it just basically goes back to points on where you're actually placed. So, like, teams that are in the middle of the pack, they just want more chances to get more points. So,
yeah,
it's going to be weird to see which teams actually take, like, that leap and just like, you know what, screw it, we're entering, because if they do that, they're helping every other team in the lobby as well, and still, putting themselves at risk. So maybe it doesn't turn into a clown fiesta. Who knows? Make
enemies for the rest of the year too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, like Tig said, I just hope it turns out to like be a good tournament because obviously, it's confirmed for PGC, and I just really hope it goes well, and I hope like a true winner is really like decided, and it's not like RNG and it ends really quick.
I do
like. Yeah, I was gonna say like day one, like if you just like have a really good day, and then like day two, you just get fed to dot where you don't have to do much. Like I don't want that to be how it ends. Just like fed to dot, a 2-kill win. Congratulations, you just won $700,000 or $1 million. It's just like, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah,
I didn't really think about this, but this was like probably pretty nice. When you hit the threshold, like you pretty much are securing like top 4, like
I mean,
in the whole tournament.
Most likely, yeah.
I mean, it's very, very likely that you're top 3 to top 4, maybe top 5 if it's like really equal. But I feel like that might be like really nice. Like imagine you're 6-7 games in, you had like really good first 6-7 games, and you're just at the threshold already. It's kind of like a stress reliever at the same time. It's like, yeah, if we win a game, we're going to win the fucking tournament. But, like, we also just got 3rd or 4th at, like, a LAN guaranteed. Like, that's like, a pretty big thing that I didn't really think about.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's, like, stressful, but also not at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a stress reliever because, like, oh, all right, well, if we win a game here, now, we're the champions. But then it's also, like, if there's 4 other teams and they have a better last game than you don't know what game is going to be your last game. And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, like you look at the scoreboard and you're like, wait, we were the first team to hit the point threshold and now we're in freaking 5th place or something, or 4th place. And it's just like, damn, like, so it's going to go both ways. Like teams are going to be happy, teams are going to be unhappy. It is what it is.
Yeah. I think as a viewer, it's kind of goated though, because like usually people tune into the last, 2 games of a grand final just to see who the winner is, and it's like already pretty obvious who it's going to be at that point. With this format, as soon as the team's at the points threshold, every game they're going to be on the edge of their seat. Like, holy crap, this could be it. This could be it.
Yeah.
So I think as a viewer, it's just going to be like way more intense.
Yeah, it definitely brings it down to a wire. Like, imagine our PGS2, right? Like, that was like hype because us and Twisted, like, literally were outside right before the game. Like, hey, good luck, guys, good luck. And then, like, we go into the game, and then we see Twisted's, like, gets wiped, and we, at that point, we knew that we won the tournament, right? However, if it was Smash and we played, like, a bunch of bozos and died to Forest the way we did, like, we don't win the tournament. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, my God, like, can you imagine? Like, and then, like, the relief on every other team there is just like, like,
this is going to be some insane chokes. I can feel it's just the pressure is just going to crumble some people like on the last games. I foresee people just having these insane throws, just stressing about playing for the win, and like it's just going to completely mess with players' heads, I think. All right, how do we feel about the qualified teams? So global power ranking teams that qualified: Twisted Minds, Cerberus, E-Arena, Navi, Pero, us, Virtus Pro, and New Happy. Gunnar, I think you're probably the most familiar with like each of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like there's so much stuff about this already. Like, so I won't go crazy into detail with the power rankings and stuff. Like, obviously there's some teams that like, people would Redditors were doing the math, showing that they technically should be there and whatnot. But I mean, the teams that did get invited are all strong teams. That goes without saying. Obviously, if you're in TSM's case, like that is just freaking heartbreaking. And I'm just ecstatic that they've qualified. And I think we all knew they were going to qualify anyway. So that's good as well. But like, yeah, like I was still in China when those got released, and I was with TSM at the time. We were literally just playing some billiards, just, waiting for it to come out. And like, I saw how devastating it was, like them just being like, oh, all right, we just missed out by like 2 global ranking points. But yeah, so hopefully if they do something like this in the future, there's like some sort of set formula or something that like, people could follow along with and actually track, and you'll have a good idea of like what it is. But every team up there, is just an insane team. I mean, it's not any new faces really that you're seeing up there. I guess like VP, yeah, I was gonna say like VP would be the only team. True, but EA's just been like, I feel like. Personally, I just feel like EA is a solid team. Everyone slept on them. I never really slept on them. Well. Even on like one of the last podcasts we did, regionally they just played good. I always knew that they had it in them, and it was good to see at least they proved it internationally. But
I'm confused how VP got the points looking at it back now, because they came second in Europe and didn't qualify for PGS3 and then placed, I think, third in PGS4.
Yeah, it was just them placing third in the last tournament.
Yeah, New Happy only qualified over TSM because of like past tournaments that TSM didn't even qualify for.
Well, that's why again, it just needs to be like if it's going to be done like this, and obviously it's not PUBG that sent out the invites. This was Esports World Cup, and like to be fair, like they just didn't invite GPT teams, and I think that's right. Like that's fine. Like if you want to invite teams, at least they found a different way to do it. It just needs to be like solidified on how that process is actually done. So teams like will know.
Yeah, I think if there was like no hidden MMR, it would be perfect. Like if they stated like the tournaments that count are the last tournaments in like the last 6 months, and it's like, okay, PGC is the last tournament that's counted, and then we're gonna count this, or like, okay, the tournaments in this year are the only like tournaments that count. I think that's like fair, but
that is what it is.
They said it was within 365 days, so it was like PGS2 onwards.
Yep.
Yeah. But there was like Navi got like significantly more points because they didn't play in the other tournaments or something. It's because they like didn't have negative points. It was like really weird.
The format's not public. They could definitely do better with it.
That's all that needs to happen. That's it.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Like Navi and VP both being new teams this year that didn't compete at PGS2 and PGC, being so far up there. Not to understate their abilities, they're both very good teams. But
didn't Twisted win the regional and lose points? Like,
yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Like,
it's just
obviously that shouldn't be the case. So there just needs to be something like there just needs to be a formula. It needs to be stated. Hey, this is how it's done. And then, so be it.
I think the only 100% fair way to do it is if you're qualifying for another international that's not PGC and you're going to other internationals, it should just be off the 2 internationals. I don't think anything else should matter. Like, this is a third-party event that you're qualifying based on placements, and it should just be off PGS points. Like, I think the top 8 teams with the PGS points should go.
That's fair, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also see why New Happy should go. Like, I think it's completely fair that they're going. Sucks for TSM. I think that they could have also gone, and it would have been fine either way. But I think that's like the only really 100% fair way to do it, unless there's 100% of formula that's public and shown and makes sense, and everybody can agree that makes sense.
I will say I don't like that the teams that had already qualified played in the qualifiers. Like watching other regions, I think that there were some teams that that you're going to this event, it's not for a substantial amount of money. It becomes really hard to take it seriously. So watching the Chinese qualifiers, for example, I remember Pero 1v3 clutching against 17, and it looked like they were just kind of running it down for gags because they're like, well, we've already qualified. And then 17 ended up qualifying off this 1v3 clutch over another team, and then that other team is like, well, was Pero taking it seriously? Were they not? Like, it's really, I think that having the qualified teams playing the qualifiers is always a bad move, just because it completely changes what people are playing for and what their goals are in the tournament. Like for us, when we had a substantial point lead, we're already qualified. It could have been in our best interest to ruin another team's games as opposed to playing our best, and I think that kind of hurts the ecosystem of PUBG.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. I mean, some regions didn't do it. Like if there wasn't PGC points on the line, then like like Cerberus didn't play in theirs, right? So
yeah,
but there's no PGC points, and they're even and they're invited, so it makes sense. So yeah, it would be better if it was just more universal for sure.
With that being said, do you think teams that are already qualified to PGC should not play in their regional?
If there's money, then they have to play. Like they need the opportunity to play for money or to compete for and make money.
Yeah, if there's money,
that's
you
fair.
should play. But there was no money in EWC calls, so
that's fair.
We were only playing for PGC points.
The return of T1. They dominated Korea with 2 players on their team dropping 3 kills per match, 36 kills in 12 games for 2 players. Those are numbers we haven't seen in a really long time. It's the old ATA roster with the addition of END, I believe. How are we feeling about that? They're looking terrifying.
They're fucking good.
Yeah, they're good.
ATA was always good, but they never qualified for events. Like they were just fragging everybody.
Yeah.
But they would never like get to end game.
Me and you used to hype them up a bunch, Shrimsy. Like even like when I wasn't on the team, like Shrimsy would watch. I'd see him in the chat watching the games. Like I was always a fan of like Zenith and
Raining.
Yeah, and like they would just be like, "Oh, an 18 kill third place, 15th, 14th, 16th, 22 kill second place." It's just like, and then like we would just like show up at like an international. It's like, damn, like how is this team like not like one of the top teams here, like, but yeah, I think they probably found more structure and found like a way that they wanted to play to remain consistent or stay consistent, and obviously I guess we'll see if it pays off. We'll see how they do on the international level. There's gonna be a lot more pressure.
So the other 2 teams qualifying out of Korea are KDF and Danawa. KDF we're obviously very familiar with. They've been playing exceptionally for a very long time. Always playing well. Always the bride, never the bridesmaid. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Haven't won that many events recently or shown up as strong as they definitely could have at internationals. But I think that's just a matter of form finding for them. Shrimsy, how are we feeling about Danawa?
They actually had an insane last game to qualify. I think they lost 2 at the very beginning of the game, and then they made a send as a duo to Llama Hill. And if there's one person in the game that you probably want clutching, it's Soniqs, and he was alive. So, they ended up winning as a duo and qualifying off the win. I think if they didn't win the game, that they would have not qualified, which is pretty insane. Seeing as this is such a big tournament, they didn't qualify for PGS 3 and 4, so them qualifying for this event and then potentially qualifying for your PGS 5 and 6 gives them a really, really good chance to go to PGC. So, I mean, what more could you ask for than qualifying in the last game, honestly?
Is Soniqs the GOAT of clutching?
I don't think there's anyone better than him when it comes to clutching. There's literally just so many clips of him clutching games. Just how Kickstart.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I will never forget that 2-tap on Alo. I don't even know what tournament it was, but Alo's in a 1v1 against Soniqs. Alo lights Soniqs up. Yep.
Yeah.
Military. Yeah. That was just the most ridiculous. Like, he hit that, and I was like, I don't know another pro player that hits that. There's just no one else that hits back-to-back double headshot at like 80 meters standing, first 2 bullets in a 1v1 at international land. It was at PGS1, actually, I remember it. So I remember the camera cut to him afterwards, and all of them were in the room were like,
yeah. There were so many games at PGIS that he clutched like by himself. It was fucking insane. Like there was literally like 5 or 6 games that he just did it by himself, and I was like, that is insane. Like to be that good consistently is fucking incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gross. So good to see him back on the international stage. Hopefully, they're not the biggest threat when it comes to winner chicken dinner format. Definitely not the guy that you want to be playing against in a format where winning wins the tournament. Because I mean, if he's clutching, then I'm gonna be shook every time he's alive, and I'm not. So APAC, obviously we have CES, Daytrade, TE, AG, and Villathy, or VLTH, sorry, I call them Villathy, kill feeding game. Valley Thai Esports. AG is Tycon's new team. How are we feeling about Cerberus and AG? The mix-up. Tycon and Himas pitted against one another. Let's go. You can do this one, Kick.
I have no idea. I don't know why the roster change happened. I don't know if it was a good thing. I don't know how they've even been playing. They didn't play in the EWC qual, right? So like, I don't even know if they're playing good since adding the new guy.
Who's Serb?
Yeah.
They played one tournament.
Ser's are playing great, yeah. Their scrims have been good as well, yeah. So.
They had a Duck who was their like long-term sub, so they have chemistry with him already. It's not like he's just completely random, which is nice.
It is weird though, because in previous events before they won PGS3, it would be always Sololzy and Duckmai switching out every single event. Like, I think they would start with Sololzy and they would always change him out for Duckmai like halfway through the event.
Yeah, we would just get the notification. A player has met the medical to whatever they're being subbed in. We're like, wait, how are these guys getting sick all the damn time? Like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
I actually think Sololzy played a really massive part in their PGS3 win. Watching the replays back, the angles he was holding and the way he was playing, I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves, for sure.
He played an insane event. And normally he wasn't that guy to be like the second tier fragger. Normally he was always Tycon. Or Tycon sometimes would be over Himas, but Himas is kind of on a different level now.
After watching some replays back of Himas, I don't think he's like the mechanical goat of PUBG. I just think he has the biggest balls. He runs at people 24/7, and he's the first guy to peak. He has like I don't know what to call it. Like it's like when you used to play against old STK. You know, you'd be like, please no third party us SDK, and then you get blown up by Uncivil. Like, there was always like that guy that was just the first player to peak, and Himas is that guy. Like, Himas is just every time someone peeked a Riz into me, and I just didn't want it to happen at that exact moment, it was Himas.
Yeah, so if you're not scared of third party, you're not scared to run it down.
Yeah. So I think that is what pays so much. That's why their gameplay is so momentum-y. They're either destroying the lobby or they're kind of bombing out, and I think it's just because it's so reliant on the circumstances they're in, how third-partyable situations are, how they can run up on teams. So EWC, obviously, they're going to be a huge threat. They're going to be... It's not like the longest travel day for them from Vietnam to Saudi. I think they're just going to be dialed in, which is kind of scary.
Yeah. I mean, their playstyle is just insane momentum. It's obviously just a lot of, like, fucking... weird confidence. Their playstyle is just super RNG, and that's what happened in PGS3 and 4. I mean, they had like everything fall in their hands in PGS3 like perfectly. Like they needed everything to happen, and it all happened. Like every time they took like a really risky fight, they just fucking won the fight, and that's why they won the tournament. And then PGS4, they try to do the same exact thing, and it doesn't work. And that's just like how the playstyle works that they do. And I guess you really never know with them. Like, they're either going to start hot and probably win the tournament because their confidence and aim is just, like, so high, or they're just going to do what they did in PGS4 and kind of start slow and then maybe get, like, some momentum and, like, finish mid-pack.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting style to have because you kind of, I would assume if you're them, you kind of know exactly what's going to happen within, like, the first day. Like, either you're going to be really fucking good or you're going to be really bad. Not that they're really bad, but they're not going to be as good as they normally are. So like you always have the chance to win, but you could also just bomb out, which I think is like, I don't know if I would want it, but I think it's a fine play style to have. Like, I think it'd be a really fun thing, or a really, really shitty thing to be playing.
I will say this though about the Vietnamese teams: they always seem happy. A lot of them, it doesn't matter if good or bad, they're always vibing like a family. A lot of the events I've roomed next to them, like PGC and PGS, I've always had rooms next to the Vietnamese guys, and I just hear and see them in the hallways, just like they just leave their doors open all the time, and they're just like playing cards, and there's like
playing poker all night.
Yeah, there's like 12 of them in one room just playing cards and stuff. I'm always like, what is going on here? They're just chilling, you know.
We walked in, they're like, you want to play Vietnamese poker? We're like, no, we're about to get hustled.
So China, I don't think there's too much to be said for 17, 4 a.m. Tiamba, Pero, and New Happy qualifying. I feel like that's the most standard set of teams that we've ever seen. Like all of the staple big names in PUBG from China qualifying. It's kind of the expected result. Maybe bar 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is just such a bang or bust team. It's really confusing to me how they perform so well regionally at the moment, and then like kind of choke on LAN recently. It's so interesting. Why do you think that is, Gunnar?
That man, I don't know. That team's always kind of mystified me. Obviously, it dates back. We've always kind of studied them back on the STK and Lazarus days with like God V and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it probably just comes down to confidence. I think similar to Serb. If they start off good, then I think they'll probably have a good event. If they start off bad, then it usually snowballs. I think they're just kind of one of those teams. I mean, most teams usually are, like, even with us a lot of times, I guess, like with the exception of PGS3, I think we started off with like a 0 and then maybe a 1 point game, and then we ended up in second, and we probably should have won it. But yeah, I think it's a bang or bust type team. Obviously they're a GPT, so they're invited to the PGSs, so that pressure is off of them in qualifiers. But when it comes to internationals, obviously they still need to try and perform, so they have a lot more added pressure onto them there. So maybe that could be a factor on them. But I mean, who knows? You won't know unless you're really in that environment, or especially from that region, exactly why teams are performing well at some points and doing poorly at others. But it's all pure speculation, and especially like in China, where we can't really watch all of their games without just watching like a past broadcast or something on like YouTube or something. So, or watching a Twire, which isn't always accurate all the time. So, I mean, I still think they're a good team, and I think they're a team that can just kind of show up randomly and you say, "Oh, damn!"
Looking at the leaderboard too, it's like literally fifth is 10 points behind first in the Chinese qualifier.
It's insane.
It's just insane. Yeah, I mean, first to third is 2 points, and second is 1 point, and it's just like, bro, any game changes like could have just 17 for MTR, but any of them could have just not qualified. Like CTG is 131. They're literally 3 points behind third, and third quals.
Yeah,
it completely threw me off.
It was insane. Yeah,
I just can't get over 17's clutch on Perry. That had me shook. Like these games were so tight, it's unbelievable. These point borderlines, like,
yeah.
China's just the craziest region.
Looking at like the leaderboards as well, it's like the second to last match, 17 won with 7 kills. So like, it kind of feels like they might have gotten fed that game just a dog because they had such low kills, or maybe they were just playing a little bit passive because they wanted to win. And then 4 a.m. got second, and they got a 5-kill win in round 16, which is like the 2 matches before the last game. So it's like, what happened those games? I didn't even watch the Twires, but they could have just gotten fed the dot, and that's why they called. Like at the end, it's just insane that it's that close.
I watched the Twires back, and they were just insane. Like some of the craziest matches you've ever seen. And I will say though, it wouldn't feel like a global tournament without 17 or 4 a.m. Like 17, I think, is one of the most consistent global teams we've ever played against. They're absolute beasts, and honestly, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. We don't get Pachinki Picardo. We tend to play worse out of those spots when we land there. So obviously, good luck to them. 4 a.m., I think all of us, maybe me and Kickstart, not Shrimsy, because he was actually playing in the event, but ever since the PGC 2019 performance, that's always been the Chinese team that I looked up to the most. I think that they're super, like, or at least their playstyle back then, they were aggressive. They were, like, dominant. It felt like God V ruled with an iron fist, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it felt as a spectator. So, super awesome to have all of these teams, Tiamo as well, in the Esports World Cup. I think that this lobby is like the most stacked lobby we possibly could have asked for, which makes the event both great and a little daunting for the players. Shall we talk about Nations Cup?
Sure.
We're all going.
I mean, we are all going. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody in this podcast is going to Nations Cup. Hwin, you will be sorely missed. The IGL of our team. I mean, he's gone a couple times, so you could argue he's had his time, but to not have him at a Nations Cup feels a little sad. The IGL of NA, who has won multiple international events, obviously upsetting to not have him go. I think everyone's probably wondering, Kick and Shrimsy, why did we choose Purdy Curdy over Rello?
Let it be known first, before I say anything, that Hwin would have been chosen if the rules weren't the way they were. We didn't just not choose Hwin, just to clarify.
We hate Hwin.
Yeah.
We love Hwin. The rules state that only 2 per team per region can go. So me and Kick were the MVPs of our team, which means that we could not select Hwin. We would have loved to have him, obviously, but those are the rules. It sucks because Korea was able to have 3 last year.
Hey, if only we were in Germany.
Or Germany, yeah. Germany also gets it. But, yeah, so we selected Purdy Curdy over Rello.
Over everybody.
Well, those were kind of the 2 that we were thinking about choosing.
Yeah, that's fair.
We did choose them over everybody, but those are the kind of the 2. We didn't have an IGL, so step 1 was looking for an IGL. There was talks about Matt potentially IGLing, but I think that he didn't really want to. So we wanted somebody to kind of take over that role, which led us to Rello and Purdy. Gunnar has had a past with Purdy, and I've played a lot of scrims with TSM in the past. I kind of really like the way that they communicate, and I think Purdy is a really good calm leader, and he doesn't really make bad decisions. I think that in the past there have been a lot of issues with his teams, and I think that for the most part, from what I know, outside perspective, I don't speak for him or TSM or whatever, but it kind of seems like it was a little out of his control whenever they did bad. So I think that we're really excited to have him on the team, and we really want the call him IGL, so that's why we went for him.
You don't think he's too old?
I think you're too old, but here we are.
Excited to see Purdy go. I think that Purdy kind of embodies the that America kind of spirit pretty well. So
welcome.
It was always upsetting to me when Gunnar didn't get to go to Nations Cup. He has a tattoo of the American flag. So I feel like the pride in the nation is gonna make him play better. You guys got like a 10% patriotism or a buff.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think with nations, obviously, it's like every player that's going is good. It's not always like the best team or whatever that's going to win. I mean, I guess maybe outside of Korea, who had like that chemistry, but we get no practice really at all because we go from EWC in Saudi. Like, I mean, Tig's flying straight from Saudi to Korea. Like, that's how little time we have. So we're literally just going there with no practice. No time to play together. Like, obviously Kick has played with Snakers, and they played together on the team last year. And I mean, I've coached Purdy, and Shrimsy used to sub for us like all the time. And he always had a good time as well. But yeah, no practice. We're just going in. I don't know. I don't want to use. All right, we're going in. We're raw dogging it, and we're just dropping. We're probably just
Cheeky Picado. We're dropping Cheeky Picado.
We're just no. We're just dropping where like TSM drops more than likely, since Purdy's the IGL. That's where he's going to be comfortable calling from, and it is what it is. I mean, Team USA hasn't done good one fucking time at Nations Cup, so I feel like this is going to be the time we're going to do good, when we have 0 fucking practice together and we're just raw dogging it, just dropping in friggin' South Georgia, and Purdy's just going to command 3 of the best fraggers in the world on what to do, and that's it.
Should we take Patini Picado, Team Australia?
Yeah, bro, drop on China.
Yeah,
who's
You reckon China will
going
land
for
Picado?
17? Is it JDD?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going.
Yeah, drop on
No,
China,
that's
bro.
cap. Godv, Zhayudidi, X left,
Ace left. And Ming Ming?
and Ming
Yep.
Ming. Yeah.
Yeah, usually I make a Discord for this shit, but like, it's Esports World Cup, so probably When the Esports World Cup's over, I'll make a Discord and teams can post whatever the fuck they want to drop or something.
Tempted to
Probably
just
get
land on them.
Leo South George is my guess.
Last year, China went to Yaz. They had ZP. They had 2 new happy players, right? So they went like Yaz,
Yeah,
Leo.
Yeah.
You guys had Poach Picado, right?
No, they were in Gakka, I think.
We had Fairy?
Oh, was it fair?
Oh, you had Ferry. Who had Poach? Maybe that was China.
Finland?
No way, Finland.
I don't know.
Finland wasn't even at Nations Cup last year.
Oh, yeah, they weren't. Sorry, that was the year before they had. I don't know about it last year.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
I think I sent
Otherwise, I'd remember.
it to the party. Who had it last?
I need to see the drop maps from last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly don't.
I think it was
It
China.
It's
It was.
Yeah, I thought so.
Longsker, Crazy,
Yeah.
and someone else.
That's because
Yeah,
Show
makes
was there
sense.
from
Show,
17.
yeah, Show was there, yeah, because Jair
Yeah.
was supposed to go,
Yeah,
but he
we
had
looted
family
Fairy Pier.
issues.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Japan looted School Labs. Canada was Roz.
Yeah,
Vietnam
send me-
is
send me that
Farm
map.
Split.
Send me that map.
Let me just give a little shout out to a team that's definitely deserving. Russia or Ukraine, unfortunately, because of political stuff, they can't go, but
Yeah.
they
That's-
they would have a
good stuff.
nasty team.
I think
Yeah.
that team is insta winning. It would just
I
be
mean,
like,
they would just be the favorite instantly, I'm pretty sure. If they both were able to go, they both have insane teams that would be at the top of everyone's tier list, but
Yeah.
that's out of our hands. And
The
above our pay grades.
example, Batulins. Who would be the other Russians? Oh, Babylon, yeah.
Yeah.
Doozy
Yeah,
would
it'll be all the BB players. Or it'd be 2
Doozy would
BB
go.
players. Yeah.
Maybe Spyro? No, Spyro's
Spyro's-
Ukrainian.
yeah, he is. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if there was like a, like for the Olympics, I'm pretty sure they have like or
Independent.
a couple years ago, they had like a CIS, like Olympic committee or something like that, where it was like an amalgam of like a lot of countries, but they weren't like representing the country. They were just there, to play the games. And I think that that's kind of how it should be in PUBG. Like, I mean, you have Twisted Minds already that's comprised of, it was 2 Russians, 2 Ukrainians. I think since Spyro left and SMPL joined, it might be 3-1.
3 Russians, yeah.
Yeah. But either way, like, I mean, like, they already play together. They're absolute boys. They're like family to each other. I think that would be like a positive thing. So it's kind of sad that can't happen.
Yeah.
That team would just insta win though. So glad they're not going. Up the boys. Yeah, the Aussies. Let's go. Let's select the teams. I
How you
think the
feeling about
sleeper
your
pick.
Aussie roster?
I mean, I think we got the best Aussie roster possible. Me, Luke 12, Flood, Monty, Coach Rain. Very excited for this team, actually. I think we had a really good chance to win in Thailand, but we just kind of threw the bag. We just kind of lost some games that we shouldn't have lost. My game crashed one game. I died to a bug the next. Like, it was a little iffy.
Bro, was
We were
playing
on 60
Windows
hertz.
Oh, yeah, and Nations Cup 2, the whole first day, I had like no kills, and I was playing on 60 hertz all day. I had this bug, and my game felt terrible. And then Shrimsy told me how to fix it. And then going into the final match of the day, I started beaming people, and I started playing well again. And I was like, bro.
Yeah. What's
Good
crazy
cheese.
is Shrimsy, I wasn't there, but Shrimsy messaged me and said, yo, this bozo has been playing on 60 hertz since game 1. I'm going to wait till the last game to let him know. LOL.
Yeah.
He later
that way it
deleted the
seems like I'm the
message.
hero, yeah.
Yeah. I know the truth, though, yeah.
I gave him the bug, actually.
So last
Yeah.
year, Thailand, we said we were going South George, and Thailand said they would hot drop us. They just posted on top of us and we left. I don't intend to get pushed around like that this year. I will drop on anyone. I don't give a fuck up the Anzacs.
Coming South George, Chief?
Respect that.
No, just wherever we post, if we're the first team to post there, if anyone posts on top of us, I'm full committed to hot dropping. And I will do my best to convince the team to hot drop.
You guys would have been
Yes.
insta enemies, though, hot dropping Thailand in Thailand with the crowd.
Bro, you can't do that, man.
This would have been in Korea, I believe.
Oh, was it last year? Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, last year. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We gave it to them. Don't intend to get pushed around like that again. I hate it. If you had a team of 4 Tiggletons, we wouldn't be very good, but we would be hot dropping every match, on every map, at every tournament. My ego's way too big.
We
So-
wouldn't be very good, he said.
You guys would be dying to blue, bro. All right,
yeah,
push.
literally.
Pull up on this ridge. All right, you pull up on this ridge. All right, go pull up on this ridge, guys.
yeah, literally, yeah. All right, you 3 do this. All right, everyone but me, go and do this. 4 times.
Just trolling, obviously.
Yeah, it's a shame Team India has not been selected again. I think that's really upsetting. the Indian PUBG scene is massive, and I love their participation. Shout out the boys. Shout out Salman. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, but
They were big
he was the
vibes.
homie. They were vibing. They were chill.
They were big vibes.
You know, I remember I was walking around on the streets of Hongdae. It's like the party spot in Korea. On the first night I was there, and you know, I just run into all the Team India, and they went, "Yo, what's up, Tiggy?" We took some selfies, and they were super chill guys. So gonna miss them. Shout out the boys, and yeah, hope to see them in the future. I guess that's all for our podcast from today. Hopefully you've enjoyed these insights from Team Soniqs, along with our yapping, a little bit of babbling, a little bit of tomfoolery. We'll see you guys for the next one. Should be before PGC, maybe before PGS. Depends on how much time we have and how much drama there is, really. You know. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We appreciate you as always. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Make sure you leave a comment as well if you enjoyed or if you have any feedback on how we should improve. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.